Rectangles and polygons are specialized tools that create polyline objects. You will learn how to use Cartesian coordinates with rectangles. Plus, you'll explore the fillet and chamfer options that are part of the rectangle command. In addition, you will create a few regular polygons using the circumscribed, inscribed, and edge creation methods. Both the rectangle and polygon tools are located here in the flyout on the Draw panel. Let's start with the rectangle tool. It says specify first corner point, or there's two different coordinate values there. Now I'll click a point and watch what happens when I move the mouse. If I move it to the right, the left coordinate seems to change, and if I move it up and down, the right coordinate changes more. This indicates what we're looking at, the x and y axes. So the first number is the x coordinate, and I'll type in a number. Let's try 10. I'll press Tab to enter the second value, which is the y coordinate. And here I'll type in 5 and press Enter. So I've succeeded in drawing my first rectangle that's 10 units in length and 5 units in width. Let's try that again. Rectangle, click a first point, and then click a second point. So you can do it freehand like that, or you can use numbers. I'll draw a third rectangle. This time, let's say we want the rectangle to go over this way. So we'll have to specify a negative x coordinate because it's to the left of the initial point. So I'll type in negative 12, tab, and then positive 8. Enter. So the rectangle went this way in the negative x direction and up in the positive y direction. Let's try another one, but this time we'll use one of the options. I'll click Fillet, and I'll specify a fillet radius of 3, and then I'll press Enter. Then go ahead and specify the first corner point, and as I move the mouse you can see what's happening. The fillet is a radiused transition between the perpendicular edges of the rectangle. Again, we can specify the dimensions of this rectangle if we want. I'll type in 25, tab, minus 15, enter. You can see right here what it entered, at 25, minus 15. You can do that on the command line if you're not using dynamic input. I'll turn that off. Let's try another rectangle. I'll click a point here and type at 15, negative 8. So it made the rectangle 15 units in length and 8 units in width, and it went down from the initial point because I used a negative y coordinate. Now, you may have noticed that the last rectangle that I made automatically came with the same fillet radius that I specified earlier. If you want to clear that out, you have to create yet another rectangle and click on Fillet, and then specify the fillet radius as 0, and that will get rid of that curve. This time let's try a chamfer. I'll click that option, and chamfers work as beveled edges, and they're specified with 2 different dimensions. Usually those dimensions are the same, but they can differ. Let's try 2 for the first chamfer distance and 2 again for the second chamfer distance. Now I'll go ahead and draw the rectangle, and you can see what's happening here. I have beveled edges based on those 2 dimensions that I entered. I'll click to set the opposite corner point. So the first dimension is this length, and the second chamfer dimension is this width. Again, if I want to create another rectangle, it will have those chamfer values still in the rectangle command. So I need to clear those out if I don't want to use that. Let's try again. Rectangle, chamfer, 0, 0 again, enter. Now I've cleared those values out. I'll click a point and click again, and our rectangle command is back to normal, if you will. Now pan over to the side, and let's draw a circle. of arbitrary size. Now you don't necessarily need to have a circle, but this will illustrate the point I want to make in regards to the polygon tool. Go up to this flyout and choose Polygon from the flyout menu. And then on the command line it says Enter number of sides. I'll say 4, enter. Specify center of polygon or edge. I'd like to specify the center of the polygon at the center of this circle. So for that I need to use Object Snap. Hold down Shift, right-click, and choose Center. Click on the circle's edge to snap to the center of the circle, which is highlighted in green. Now it gives me two different options, Inscribed in Circle or Circumscribed About Circle. Let's try Circumscribed About Circle. Here you can see that I can draw this square around the outside of the circle in this way. I'd like to snap it so it's precisely the same size as the circle. So to do that, I need to snap to the quadrant point of the circle. Hold down Shift, right-click, and choose Quadrant. Its icon indicates what a quadrant is. They're the cardinal points of any circle or arc. So I'll click here on this east quadrant to specify the radius of the circle. And now the polygon is complete. Let's try that again, but this time we'll do it inscribed within a circle. And we'll use 5 sides. I'll specify the center point by holding down Shift, right-clicking, and choosing Center. I'll click on the edge of the circle to specify the center of the polygon, and then I'll use Inscribed in Circle, and I'd like to snap it up here, so I'll hold down Shift again, right-click, and choose Quadrant, and click right there. Now we have a pentagon perfectly inscribed within the circle. There's one other creation method for the polygon tool. That's Edge method. Let's try this. Click on Polygon. Let's set the number of sides at 6, and then we'll use the Edge option. The first endpoint of edge, let's say it's snapped to the endpoint of this pentagon. The second point of the edge will be snapped to the endpoint of this corner. Now we have a hexagon bonded to the pentagon along their mutual edge. You have learned how to create rectangles and polygons and explored many of their creation options.